We're rolling. All right.
Yeah, we're rolling.
I mean, Mr. Horton, he's a hit maker. He's a genius. And he's a con man.
All right, so which blubbering little jingle merchant is complaining about the big bad music industry now?
Sammy.
Sammy Gold? You gotta be shitting me. Millions of teenagers discovered that guy, but I saw a talentless young man for what he was destined to become, a giant pile of money.
You know, you have those days where you regret things. Well, some days I wish I'd never opened my Gmail and answered that electronic letter from Mr. Horton. One of my songs had just gotten 500,000 views on www.youtube.com, and he said he wanted to make me famous. I believed him.
Wherever there's an exciting new sound, something trending online, or a bag of cat bones and tar at the crossroads, I'm there. That's my job as a music executive. And I'm pretty much the worst person you'll ever meet, besides Scooter Braun. Yeah, Scooter was my apprentice. I taught him how to make money off artists' hard work, image, and likeness. The only difference between me and him is that I'm way more handsome.
A real-life music executive? I'm just Sammy Gold. I was a kid from a suburb of Hoggsville, Arkansas, trying to live the dream, but Roger Horton didn't see my dream. He saw me as another cog in his algorithm. Algorithm. Is that how you say it? Algorithm? Algorithm? I had a wife, sweet as pie. She had a face like hot apple pie. I had a mouth and two little eyes. I chased her through the forest to make her my bride. My apple pie, her face wife. My apple pie, face wife.
A terrible song, but perfect for trending videos where middle schoolers would flash each other by the shitload. I knew that Sammy wasn't smart enough to do anything with the clout he was accruing. I told him, Sammy baby, you could be a worldwide star, a household name.
She said I'd be a household name like Willie Nelson or SpongeBob or Condoleezza Rice.
That little bumpkin can cry all he wants, but the fact is he signed the contract, and it's not my fault if he didn't read it. Partly because I told him I was going to set it on fire in 30 seconds if he didn't sign it. Also, he was too desperate and too dumb to figure out how to make any money on his own. I mean, with our resources, we had the ability to take him from a sickly little music sow to a fat, squealing prize hog.
Are you calling Sammy a prize hog?
Oh, did I say that?
He said that. But where I come from, hogs get slaughtered. So that's a pretty funny way to put it.
I'm Sammy's cousin. You know, we would have been happy enough for everyone just to hear Sammy's music. And then Mr. Roger offered Sammy $1 million. I mean, who could turn down that cheddar? Cheddar cheese is actually so rare back home that it's a currency in our small town, so.
I gave him $1 million advance. It's like nobody bothers to learn confusing legal terms anymore.
$1 million. That's more money than I'd ever imagined. I never even said the number 1 million out loud until now. 1 million.
$1 million is nothing to me. I've been exploiting artists for almost an entire century, and even after their worm food, probably at the age of 27. Oh, that meter's still running, filling Papa's pocket with royalties. Hell, them kicking the bucket boosts our back catalog. We're still raking in $60 million a year from Pelvis, and he crapped himself to death in 77.
Yeah, looking back, I had already had 500,000 people who liked my songs. That's the worst of it.
I mean, we spent all this time uploading him to TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and Footnote. That was a platform that we later found out was not music related at all, and it was for people with foot fetishes, whatever. But we knew nothing about album making, so when Roger told us that the record company would cover all the costs of recording Sammy's first album, we said, well, thank Peter, Paul, and Mary for sending us Mr. Horton.
Such a sweet, dumb, fat little egg. That piece of junk did a full 100 million streams.
So he ended up paying you back.
Oh my God, no. At a high-end average of about 0.5 cents per stream, it's still about, maybe 200 million streams short of paying us back.
After that flopped, I was going to go back to playing on TikTok, and they told me they owned my masters. I couldn't go playing my songs without their permission. And I said to them, I am no lawyer, but nobody but God can own my voice and the notes that I pull from my guitar, Lucinda.
We own Sammy's voice and the notes from Lucinda, at least in the specific melody and pattern he recorded them for us.
I even got a cease and desist for the Sammy merch that we've been making and selling on Etsy because he signed something called a 360 deal.
She was making weird soap necklaces with his face on it. More horseshit, but horseshit we're legally entitled to a cut of.
Of course, when I saw those spotty music streams racking up on Apple Pie Facewife, I thought to myself, finally, this thing is paying off.
Yeah, there's not much money in streaming. Shame, really. Instead of taking it lying down, we stood up and became shareholders in spotty music.
You know, for a moment I thought I'd figured a way out. I was going to record a real stinker of a second album and he'd set me free. But turns out, if they don't like what you give them, they just don't put it out.
If we don't like the album, we don't release the album. And if we don't release the album, you still owe us an album. So the sun sets, rises, and the snake eats its own tail forevermore.
I didn't want to take the option for the second album at all.
And we were like, you hayseed son of a bitch. We have an option to make you record a second album.
And then he laughed for a while, and then he called in a couple guys I didn't know, and they also laughed for a while. It was a shitty birthday. Turns out I was plumb fucked.
Guy was leased, greased, and ready to please.
I haven't spoken to Roger since 2022. I still owe him 4 Bitcoin, or 16 wheels of cheddar.
I don't know if I'll ever see Sam again, but wherever he is, I hope he keeps singing about pie. I've been Roger. Is that enough?